Past 109 days, we've hit the first $10,000 month, which is huge. We actually did a little bit above that. Last month, we got 32 calls from one SEO agency and then onboarded another SEO agency, and we've gotten 9 calls already for him.
Welcome everyone. Today we have Luke. Luke is a customer of ours from agentvelocity.io. We have been working together for a bit of a time now, and he has had amazing results. Can you just do a quick background story of who you are? What are you doing right now?
I kind of jumped into the program running an agency previously. I had been running the traditional model of a SMMA with little success. I had been doing that for about 9 months to finally come to realize that I was really no good at Facebook ads and actually delivering that service. So kind of conundrum that I ran into was I found I could always get sales calls on the calendar. When I was actually time to onboard those clients and provide results, I was no good at actually providing the necessities in terms of the ads and the back end for those clients to get good results. So I kind of figured that SMA wasn't the best route for me. And that's when I found you. And it was almost like a stars aligned thing when I could do emails, the main service. I had no idea that was even a thing. And I came across your videos and the rest is history, really.
I think that's a really common case, me included. A lot of people doing lead gen have first done SMMA. But dive a bit deeper into that. When you were doing SMMA, you mentioned that delivering the service was a big difficulty. Why do you think that is? Like, did you have clients and it just didn't work out, or how did that look like running the agency?
I'd say the biggest problem in my last agency was I could always get them leads on Facebook, but then you run into the quality issue. You don't have really too much control over their sales process, especially if you're working with a local business. You don't know how many times they're actually calling on those leads, if they're able to close those leads, what processes they have in their back end. I found that transitioning to working with a more maybe sophisticated market, if you will, in terms of agency owners or SaaS owners, something like that, if you can actually provide them those leads, which is kind of the biggest bottleneck in their business, that's really all they need in their end if they have those systems. So that was kind of the biggest thing for me, was not having the fulfillment in the back end to actually help those local business owners actually then close those leads and, obviously get the return on their spend that they're looking for.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Even if you deliver leads, but they don't have a sales process, it's like fairly useless. I ran into the same issue years ago. But then you figure out, okay, you run into our stuff and you figure, okay, I can do lead gen for a service and just do the cold email stuff. Then you had run your agency for 9 months. Or, okay, I'm going to do this new thing. What was the thing that you were trying to solve? Like, what was the reason why you just didn't do it alone?
I've always been a huge proponent of investing in, whether it be courses or obviously someone who's ahead of you and who've done it. Because obviously I knew the ins and outs of cold email as I used it in my own agency. I didn't have the infrastructure built in terms of how to replicate that for clients or the proper, nuances on how to actually set up the system. So I knew that joining you guys, I had seen your videos. At that point, you were posting every day. So I was super sold on your process that you had on that point. And I knew I could cut my learning time down tremendously if I followed the path that you guys are using. And along with all the testimonials on your site and YouTube, it was almost just a no-brainer. It seems like everyone in the program had gone great results prior to that.
That's beautiful. 109 days later of you starting your lead gen agencies, any crazy wins that you have had?
The past 109 days have been pretty crazy for sure. In terms of revenue, we've hit the first $10,000 month, which is huge. We actually did a little bit above that, which obviously is kind of agency owners' first step. And in terms of some quick client spotlights, we found great success working with SEO agencies, which I was a little bit nervous to kind of get into that kind of market, as I've heard that from some others. Actually delivering results for those clients can be a little hard, but I think last month we got 32 calls from one SEO agency and then onboarded another SEO agency last week, and we've gotten 9 calls already for them. So SEO agencies are kind of transitioning and looking like a good market that we can actually explore to and dive into further. Really excited where that's taking it so far.
Funny thing, I see that with a lot of people. They look at a niche and then someone tells them, yeah, that's hard and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this. You can't work with this niche and their offer is whack. But usually it's impossible that you can't work, but it just takes time to figure it out. So people don't want to go through the complex process. They don't want to figure out, okay, how can I make an SEO work on cold email? And then they just quit. If it's not easy, it's impossible for those people. So you have just been able to take something that most people don't succeed with and just through hard work and dedication actually made it work.
Definitely had to innovate on some of the processes in terms of maybe shying away from the typical cold email tactics in terms of straight up offering, but you can definitely make it work.
You're a living proof of that. One thing that I'm always really interested about as well, like you mentioned, hitting 10K a month is like a big milestone for everyone, like building a business and building an agency. I 100% agree. So when you hit 10K a month, how did it feel? Because a lot of people wait up years or months until they hit it, and then they hit it and it's like nothing cool actually happened. Did you have the same thing?
I had been working on that for the past 109 days. It was definitely a little underwhelming, but definitely something I think any kind of first starting agency owner can be super proud of. I think the biggest thing for me was almost like remembering like where you want to be long-term picture. Like 10K isn't the ceiling you want to be at.
Yeah.
You want $50,000, $100,000 months down the line. So I think kind of just reframing my mind and telling myself like, hey, this is the first step and it's a huge first step, but we still have a ton of work to do was kind of something that helped me in that process for sure.
I think the first 10K, hitting that is huge because it proves that you have actually done some work. You have actually done something hard and you have struggled and you have had to figure out a bunch of problems, and you didn't quit. The reason why people never get there is they just quit. Now that you have hit 10K a month, has your life improved in any way? Like, are you able to do things that you weren't able to do before?
I wouldn't say lifestyle has changed dramatically in terms of, where I'm living, the place I go to eat. But I think the biggest change for me was now I have a lot of expendable income that I can now put back into the business. In terms of when you're at 3 to 5K a month, there's obviously not a whole ton that can go straight back into the business. So there's definitely a couple of things that I have on my list that will definitely be going back into the business that will give me more leverage so I can then hit, the 20, 30K months down the line, start actually using that expendable cash as leverage in the business rather than kind of in that survival state, like you said.
That's also good to hear. A lot of people that hit the 10K a month and they go and buy a Rolex, and it's like, bro, why would you do that? One thing that I want to ask is like a hypothetical situation where you start your Legion agency, but you didn't start working with us. Where do you think you would be right now? What do you think the impact of deciding to work with us has been? What is the difference in results that you got because you started working with us?
I think I would be at least 50% behind where I am now. And I say that just because you guys kind of lay out the processes A to Z and the roadmap that you need to take, especially for someone like me who may not be the most out of the box creative thinker, but if you tell me what to do, that's something I can get done. That was really convenient for me where you gave me the steps XYZ, what you need to be doing every single day, how to plan out your day. All that information is right in front of you in the program. So I would say it's at least sped up my learning curve and rate of transformation at least 2x, maybe even 3x.
That's super nice. Do you remember when you found us or found my YouTube videos, what really piqued your interest with our stuff?
I think it was just the overall vibe of your videos. I could tell that you were authentic. I think authenticity is something that maybe that's a lot of creators are missing these days. Also, just the fact that the time and effort that you put in those videos. I mean, each of those videos were at least 15 to 20 minutes sometimes. I watched one of your videos. I think it was your mug mode video in terms of the Ferrari sprint. And that was something that instantly stuck with me, something I could apply right to my life. And I don't think I've watched too many videos where I've watched a 15-minute video. I've taken what was in the video and then was able to apply it with such efficacy. Your content was so relevant to my situation, and it was actually had results that you could therefore then apply into your life and see real change. If you're getting all this value for free, what am I going to get when I pay for this course? So that was kind of the biggest thing for me, for sure.
The Ferrari sprint, that's really glad that you mentioned it, because I think a lot of people watch it and they're like, mindset, what the fuck is this? Like, I just need the cold email script. But the Ferrari sprints and stuff like that, that actually is the biggest difference maker. It's not the exact script or tactic, but using that stuff is the thing that can actually get you the biggest results. Do you remember why you originally decided to do business with us? Like, what made you pull the trigger on the program? Was there anything specific?
I probably spent 2 or 3 days watching your videos. I saw all the testimonials you had on your page. I had to make it work out within the next 12 months as I'm a student in college and I was graduating. I knew I didn't really want to go down that kind of path of 9 to 5. And I knew that if I didn't really bite the bullet and make it work, that's where I was going. I found your program with all the testimonials in place. I was like, time couldn't be better, really.
I have been thinking about that as well, because I would also consider myself an easy sell. I have been thinking why it is. And I think it comes down to just confidence. Because if you see something works for some people, you know that, okay, you can make it work. And obviously you're a perfect example because you just go and you work and you execute.
I feel like a lot of people in sales, they just if you do sales a lot and you're selling to people, if someone puts testimonials in your face and shows you what you can do, you're an easy sell.
One thing that I want to ask you is, if someone is listening or watching this video right now, they're like, okay, Luke seems like a G, he's a hard worker, but I'm not sure about myself. How likely would you recommend working with us? And why should someone who's watching this right now pull the trigger and just join?
I've already recommended you guys, and I would say anyone thinking about it, it's a 10 out of 10 choice that you need to get into this, even if you're on the edge, right? I think that come down to a couple variables for me. I've posted more in this Slack and talked to more people in this community in 2 weeks more than I have in the whole year I'd been, in other courses. And the community is so tight knit. You're not going into a group with, 10,000 other people. You can get to know people in the Slack on a personal level in that extent. So that was honestly the biggest thing for me, was maybe unexpected too, because obviously I came in for the program, didn't think the Slack was going to be as big of an impact. But now when I'm recommending it to people, I think the community there is probably the biggest thing and the biggest lever that I've pulled in terms of the last 3 or so months actually getting the results I have. And outside of that, the program is obviously great. It's everything you would expect, as well having direct access to you, Rob, Wyatt, Emil, doing multiple 5 figures a month. And you can literally go in and ask him any question you want. That's pretty crazy in terms of efficacy standpoint and just getting the information that you need, execute, and then it's simply just down to you going out and doing it.
It's funny that you mentioned that the community was living an unexpected thing, because it was the same for us. We're like, yeah, I'll just have this community. Maybe some people talk there or something. And then when we were in Tallinn at the end of summer and we had 30, 25 people from the community there, I was like, damn, the community is actually the hugest thing. People are actually friends.
The biggest thing for me was these guys are all where you want to be. So when I was doing maybe in the 3 to 5K range a month, you can literally DM these guys on Slack who are making 20 to 30K a month, and you can ask them any question you may have. And the thing that I found was these guys are more than welcome to help if you actually go out and seek help. It just kind of comes down to to you actually putting yourself out there and asking the questions that get a response.
That is amazingly said. The last question I have for you, and I think this is really important for people to hear. Obviously, you are someone who just takes action, executes, and works hard. Most people trying to get their business off the ground, that is the problem that they have. They don't do that. They just overthink and they try to figure out everything and they just stay stuck in their head trying to analyze everything. So do you have any frameworks or mindsets that you follow, or how do you just get up, open the laptop and just start ripping through stuff and just putting in the work?
It wasn't always that way. I came into this program, I wouldn't even plan my days, which is kind of like XYZ. You need to be doing this if you're an agency owner. Honestly, that video on how to beat procrastination for you is in the program for everyone to watch. Is like a huge video for me because essentially it showed me like, hey, this is how you lay out your day, XYZ, and these are the steps you need to take so you can just start attacking that to-do list every single morning. There's plenty of people you see going out and getting these testimonials, doing these interviews with you. They put on their socks the same way you do every single morning. It just comes down to getting up, doing the work. When I was at 3 to 5K a month, I would thought it must be some secret I don't know or different mechanism that I'm not doing right. It was really just the frame that saying, hey, what I have in life is what I deserve. If I was the person deserving of being at 10K a month, I would probably be at 10K a month. I think that frame in terms of taking responsibility for where I'm at and then acting accordingly, instilling different disciplines to actually become the person who's deserving to be at $10,000 a month was maybe the biggest frame that came into my mind in terms of, hey, I just need to take action right now.
That's so well said. Thank you, Luke, so much for being here. Also, if you're looking to build a B2B lead generation agency and scale it to $10,000 a month in the coming months, make sure that you go to agentvelocity.io. We have a bunch of good stuff there. You can just go through the training and go through a bunch of case studies, a bunch of testimonials. And if it's something that resonates with you and something that you see yourself doing, you can go ahead and book a call and maybe we'll end up working together. Thank you for watching. See you next time.